we must help provide the government with information about the true cost of the animal diet. As for the way that meat industry is destroying the environment, our health, and the health and future of our children and the planet, eventually. The numbers, the sheer numbers, should be more than enough to shock any of us into action. Allow me to report to you a few shocking facts from the United States, your country alone. United States alone, yeah? 1, waste of land. Now, in the US, an area more than 9 times the size of California, 9 times California size, is used either for growing farm animal feed or grazing livestock. It's all about animals, nothing about us. That's about 1 billion acres, or 80% of all agriculture land in the US, and about half of all US land being used for meat production. By contrast, less than 3 million acres is used to grow all the vegetables in the country. Imagine that. Number 2, waste of water. Half the water in the US is wasted on production of meat. Just for comparison, 100,000 liters of water are needed to produce 1 kilogram of beef, while less than 1% of this amount, or 900 liters only, is required to harvest a kilogram of wheat. Number 3, waste of food. 90% of all soy, 80% of all corn, and 70% of all grain grown in the United States are fed to fatten livestock. Well, this could feed at least 800 million hungry people, sir. We have hungry people. We have children die every few seconds because we use too much land, too much water, too much food for livestock instead of on human. Number 4, pollution. Livestock produce 130 times as much waste as the human population in the US. Can you imagine that? A single pig farm with, say, 500,000 pigs generates more waste yearly than the 1.5 million residents of Manhattan in New York City. In Virginia state, even the poultry farms are producing 1.5 times polluting nitrogen more than all the people living in the same area. We are killing ourselves. All this waste is unregulated and untreated, you know. There's no law to regulate this and treat these things. So the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency estimates that agriculture, which is mostly for meat production, contributes to nearly 3/4 of the country's water pollution problem. 3/4 of your country's pollution came from livestock. Now in 1995, one time, 1 8-acre pig manure lagoon burst in North Carolina. You know, for people who don't know what manure lagoon is, allow myself to explain. It is where they have a big lake, you know, and then they all the manure and the waste, the urine and all that of the pig will go in there. And it looks like a lagoon, so they call it manure lagoon. One time, an 8-acre large such pig manure lagoon burst in North Carolina and spilling 25 million gallons of this poisonous waste, twice the volume of the notorious Exxon Valdez oil spill. We complain about oil spill, but this is even worse. Hundreds of millions of fish in the state's New River were killed instantly due to the nitrates in the waste with further harmful effects. once the contamination reached the ocean. This is just one of many incidents, sir. Not only that, we have the enormous dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico, the size of New Jersey, which suffocates all marine life there. And this is overwhelmingly due to the nitrogen runoff from the Midwest, from the animal waste and the fertilizers for the animal feed crops. This waste is toxic. It contains antibiotics, hormones, and pesticides, and 10 to 100 times the concentration of deadly pathogens like E. coli and Salmonella compared to human waste. Number 5, health and economic cost. Meat causes hundreds of billions of US dollars in medical costs alone and economic burdens on families and governments. Not to mention the pain and suffering of the families. Of course, unimaginably great and lifelong. And all the while, we are suffering illness, losing lives, grieving over lost loved ones, and family members, losing happiness, losing money due to the animal diet. We are the ones who are paying the industry to continue producing this problem, producing meat, fish, and the like, with our hard-earned tax money that's used to subsidize them. Ironic, huh? The US government could, of course, redirect the billions of dollars now spent on livestock subsidies to help farmers switch to organic vegetable and fruit agriculture. That would be a great help to your country and the health of the Americans. The government could use these powerful tools to spread campaigns about veg alternatives, bans on meat, and laws to help people switch to organic vegan farming and consumption. A global switch to a veg diet could even save the world governments a lot of money, as much as 80% of all the climate mitigation costs of 40 trillion US dollars by year 2050. That is, we save 32 trillion US dollars in climate mitigation costs, and having a healthy vegan population is a good deal, good business deal, in all positive aspects. There is very good reason for the American government to abolish meat, fish, eggs, and dairy, all the animal products altogether. We must stop animal production now and at all costs if we want to keep this planet. I repeat, we must stop animal product right now and at all costs if we want to keep this planet. I have always looked to the American people and their great government leaders as one of the best living examples of democracy and freedom, integrity of our world. However, I must tell you truthfully that the meat industry is unbefitting to the greatness of your country and of the great American citizen. Don't you agree, sir?
Yeah.